Hello, today I'm going to do something different than I did last time. This is Gary Nicholson. I'm an author. I've written several books. I'm also an artist. I do a lot of painting. I'll show that to you at some point, not today. Today I'm going to read from Jonny Strongbow, Triad, and the Archaeologist. And just see what you think. Anyway, here we go, and I'll do the best I can. Not with the best equipment, not with the best circumstances, but I think it might be interesting. Anyway, this is deep into the book. This is almost towards the end. So this is Jonny Strongbow. Jonny felt disheartened. He knew they were right, but it is contradictory to his position. This is the reason he made plans to resign. There is something I must do. Will you stay here with Trina and the girls while I take care of business? Of course, Jonny, but I won't be long. Amber was stunned and said nothing as he rushed out. He passed Renzo on his way. Jonny, aye. Jonny rushed past him, glancing as he went. Renzo continued to the dining room. The women were talking amongst themselves. Amber, what is it with Jonny? He rushed past me without a word. I don't know. He had to leave all of a sudden. Duty called, I imagine. I guess, the women said in unison. Renzo spoke to Trina. You are the lovely creature, he said, kissing her hand. Grazie, Trina said. Jonny was in his sky car. The mesa was dark, though the sky is high in the sky. Though the sun is high in the sky. It appeared vacant as Jonny felt alone. The jagged landscape looked desolate. He pushed on, hoping. He landed on the ledge. Sand blew around the landscape. Jonny felt desolate. Please, I need to speak to someone. He heard an echo through the desolation. He disregarded it as stress. He went to the cliff face and slapped it. He went into heavy breathing. He turned away from the cliff and sat down, leaning against it. He looked at the sky. It was spinning with faint stars through the thin atmosphere. He felt more alone than ever and beaten by the innocence he lived to protect. The wall behind him turned bright. He was flash-blinded. He stepped back and tripped over a rock. A figure appeared in the light. I had a feeling you would show up today, dipshit. I'm confused. I don't know which way to turn. Things are not always as you think they should be. You came to ask a question. Now ask. What am I going to do? I don't belong in the FBI, and my time is up to now is wasted. Your time was spent well. Your mission was to restore justice to Mars, and you prevailed. What of the methods I use? The procedure is not perfect, yet effective, and no one was injured. I don't know where or how I stand. My friends want peace, and so do I. Is the world ready? The world is always ready for change, Jonny Strongbow. Your dilemma is understandable. Your position in the FBI is contradictory. Why did you lead me on this trail when I am part of the problem? You are always learning, growing, and your heart is pure. You learn from your mistakes. Your time was not wasted. If you were not with the FBI, you still would have been chosen. Why was I chosen? You were chosen because you are a seeker, and you seek until you find. We guide you, and you do the rest. Jonny recalled the conversation with Amber. Are you saying I am where I am because of who I am? You are who you are, and so is everyone else. Man is always trying to change man, yet it all remains the same. All you need is inside you. You cannot end war with war. Peace must be a constant and within you. Many through the ages of Earth said this, and on Mars and before my time. Wonkin Tonka said this ages and ages past. You are the bearer of your destiny. You have a mission with a young woman from another star. Why do you seek advice from an old geezer? The woman from Alpha Centauri is twice my age, 10 times as bright. What can I teach her? You said it, Jonny. She is 10 times as bright. There is no limit to what you can teach her. She will remember and respect you as long after you are gone, and she will still be young. Think about it. The potential is enormous. I suppose I should do some soul searching. Jonny, there is hope for you yet. Jonny turned to his sky car. Take care, dipshit, the elder said as he vanished. Jonny turned back to the hangar and with renewed confidence, he hears a mingling of voices. Okay. To the next one. This is from Triad. The final incarnation. This is the second part of the story. The beginning of the second part of the story. They carried him through the villa. Arched windows lighted the dungeon in an excavated pocket. There was a line of wrought iron cages. Inside were 6 excited wolves, pacing and howling. Alexandro waited at a hand crank. He turned the crank. They shoved him into the opening. Alexandro reversed the crank. He opened an inner gate next to the wolves. Dominic recovered from his daze to drooling fangs. The smell of wolf filled his nostrils. They ripped the fresh flesh from his bones in voracious snarls. His consciousness dissolved into a series of light flashes. His spirit rose above the scene. He rose up and out. He is gone. Streams of thoughts flooded his consciousness. Where was he? He was one of many clouds of colored light specked with sparks like stars. He felt Renata close by. There is no hot or cold, yet he felt the warmth of her presence. What has happened to us, dear Dominic? We have crossed into the realm of the spirits. We shall What shall we do, dear Dominic? I was unprepared for this transition. Be happy. We are together. Yes, my energy swells knowing you are here. I feel it too, dearest. Their essence merged and their brightness intensified. Their entities were around him. Dominic Beck, who calls me? We are your guides. We will lead you to the appointed place. Where is Renata? She must be here with me. Renata is led by her guide to her appointed place. No, she must be here. I must be with her. We were appointed to you. We have no sensation of here. You bombard me with riddles. I demand to reunite with her. We are, the entity stopped. Dominic moved away. He watched the streams of light clouds. He saw Renata's light stream and was attracted to her essence. Dominic, why do they pull us apart? I do not know, dearest. We will not allow the separation. Their essence merged again, and other entities surrounded them. This is irregular, one of them said. We hold our assemblies for singular consciousnesses. We are to prepare you for your next life. You will not separate us, Renata said. Our essences attract. It is conscious desire. This is also my proclivity, Dominic said. When you try to separate us, we will move back together. This is real, one of the entities said. We will treat this instance different than the others. We will take this to a higher council, another one said. Okay, the next will be the World Nextdoor. This is like the very beginning of the story, a few paragraphs into it. So anyway, here I begin. We're trying something different tonight, he said. There will be mirrors hanging from the ceiling and with colored laser lights striking them. We won't be able to do your wild stretch, she said. I hope you don't disappoint the fans. They come here to see you do crazy things. I have enough screaming songs and I'll be able to move around erratic enough. The lights and reflection will appear to be more activity than there is. At least, this is the hope. Tony Goat, the house disc jockey and internet radio announcer, was there to record and broadcast the night show. He let out a loud belch after swilling his beer. The couple laughed in harmony. Goat, you disturbed the residents of a graveyard. Yeah, he belched through his words while wiping beer foam from his mustache. Devin kissed Amy and went to the stage. The band was set up and he directed all lights out. The hanging mirrors reflected multicolored laser light beams throughout the room. The band played, testing the local decibel limit laws. Devin went into his usual musical theatrical routine. The crowd was primed. The band played their repertoire through the hypnotic effects of the laser lights and mirror reflections. Smitten, the house cat, was tolerant of the band's antics. He stood up at the usual perch of the bar and yowled. The bartender was surprised because it was assumed that the cat enjoyed the music. As it was, the cat made frantic motions towards the stage. The cat swooped onto the stage in a single jumping motion. Devin eyed the cat in surprise without breaking his routine. The colored light coalesced and formed an arched doorway. Through this doorway could be seen a room with polished tiled floors. Smitten darted through the door with an ear-piercing yowl. Devin rushed after the cat. The band continued to play. For the audience as well as the band, it was difficult to tell reflection from actual movement. The band finished the set and broke down their equipment. The ambient house lights were turned back on. Amy stepped onto the stage looking for Devin. She eyed the band members with suspicion. They eyed her back in bewilderment. "Where is Devin?" The guitar player looked around, confused. He looked around the stage in curiosity. "Did anyone see Devin leave the stage?" "He was center stage last I saw him," the bass player said. "He was there and then he wasn't." Everyone on stage exchanged dubious glances. Amy gave them all an accusing look. "I'll check the bathroom," the guitar player said. "Thank you." Now I will read from the Archaeologist. Not the Archaeologist. This is Triad. Archaeologist is the next one. I will read from Avam Postal Seti. This is after the second chapter, and it's page 75. And Luluben just met his daughter's client, who is a disabled individual, and I'll let you read the book to find out what else is there about him. This is where it even gets stranger as he developed from... let me start over. Okay. I read a theory that... there I go again. All right. I read a theory Helen Keller may have been telepathic. This is why I referred to Helen Keller, because the sensory impairment is similar in Trevor. I must warn you, he is not as pleasant to look at. I'm sure I've seen worse. I'm sure you have. I'll wait here on this chair while you visit, Jean said. I've had enough sensory input for one day. Of course, grandfather will be out soon. They walked through the door to find a young man in his early 20s. He had a short crop of black hair, and he moved awkward as he waddled towards them. "Luluben, this is Trevor Matson, and he is excited to see us." "I thought you told me he was blind and deaf. How is it he can see us?" "I see through a vibrational field, and I hear as well," Trevor said in a high-pitched tone. Trevor was close enough for Luluben to see the dark irises of his eyes, and they were dark enough to cloak the pupils. Trevor has intuition. "I am happy to meet you," Luluben Perin, my dreams have messaged me of your cephalopod friends. Lubin looked at Michelle and back at Trevor. Do you see how? I see only in the passages of the dreams that they are waiting for your return. My return? How is he able to know about the cephalopods? Michelle regained her composure and took a deep breath. I don't know. I have never seen him act this way or talk like this. He has shown cognitive abilities in the past, yet this is beyond my experience. Is this a new development? I have been experiencing strange energies since going through the wormhole. Trevor waddled closer. Lubin is showing signs of unease. Trevor will not harm you, Father. He is only being friendly. Lubin reached to shake Trevor's hand. He grabbed it, Lubin's right arm, and gripped it. With his right hand, he grabbed Lubin's extended hand. An electrical charge went through Lubin's arm and into his chest. The force thrust the men in opposite directions. Michelle rushed over to help Trevor. What is happening? She cradled Trevor's head in her lap. I did not know. Lubin was lying motionless on the floor. She brushed Trevor's cheek. Relax, Trevor. I need to look at Lubin. He was breathing. From the slight movement on his cheeks, she determined he was in a dream state. She looked for an indication of consciousness. Lubin was drifting in space with others around him. What others he had yet to determine. He stirred in a faint yet familiar voice. The voice became louder and more distinct. Lubin! An electrical sensation went through what felt like his stomach, yet in this state he was little more than a cloud of energy. Mother? Yes, it's me, Lubin, she said in a rich French accent. This is irregular, you know. You have crossed over, and your body is still alive. I'm not sure of what happened. I was speaking to Michelle's patient, and the next I know, I am here. Who are the others? This is not important. Some of them I know, some of them I do not. They are departed as I am, and you will be someday. A room formed around them. They were standing in a living room of the house he lived in as a child. He looked at his hands. They looked normal. His mother looked as she did when he was a boy. Sit down, Lubin. She handed him a cup of hot tea. He accepted it and took a sip. He was delighted. It was as she always made it. What you see is what you created. Your mind is seeking comfort in the strange environment. The tea was my idea. Thank you. Where are we? I don't know. We will learn soon. You crossed over by way of a medium, and the guides are wondering what to do with you. Lubin looked out the large bay windows showing the planet Helen and Antares. How is it you come all the way here, Mother? Time and space are irrelevant in this realm. We could very well be outside of Earth and Sol. Your body is waiting on the Terra too, and I am here to keep you company while we wait for the guides. As a child, you used to stare out the window for 30 minutes at a time. I sort of remember. I worried about you as you gazed at the horizon, imagining what was there. You were impetuous, and once you had an idea, it was everything I could do to deter you. My biggest fear was you would wander off and I would never see you again. It never occurred to me to wander anywhere, Mother. I knew someday I would be on my own and able to explore. Thank God, Luluben. Your father used to reassure me you would grow out of your impetuousness. Things being as they are, you grew into an impressive, intelligent adult man, and impetuous as ever. Yes, I know, Mother, I made a mess of things. I'm sorry for the trouble I caused you and Dad. It doesn't matter now. I came to realize your stubbornness is a gift. The woman you love is a gifted and talented woman who I grew to love as a daughter. And then there is Michelle, who is precious. What you need to learn is how to use your gift, and this will be a challenge. Thank you, Mother. I needed to hear this. I know, Luluben, I'm your mother. She turned her head. The guides are here. You must go with them. I will be watching. Okay, as the finale here, this isn't very easy, you know. I mean, I'm trying. Anyway, this is from the Archaeologist. This is from a chapter, Lachesis, Archaeologist, Trouble in Orion's Belt, which is the third part of the Archaeologist. So this is deep into the book. Anyway, Jewel is Richard Serling's daughter. Richard Serling is the archaeologist. Of course, Donna Silver is the mother. And they've been through a very strange event. And Jewel is on her own right now. Anyway, here we go. This is the Archaeologist, Trouble in the Lion's Belt, Lachesis. Okay, Jewel lay in the shade where it was a little cooler, yet sweltering. She was born on Mars and was unfamiliar with trees. The few she saw were in the biocontainment field. They were not to be compared with these. They were a cluster, their limbs intertwined, forming a canopy. She dozed off for a few moments. When she woke up, she studied the trees. The mesh clusters of the tops were like a ceiling, and the spaces between the trunks formed a myriad of tunnels. She didn't dare explore them, so she looked at the open air and sky. Translucent wavy lines caused by the heat cloaked the mountains in the distance. She saw the waves dancing, making ripples in the scenery. The mirage effect made figures moving in the obscure landscape, like watching vague images on a movie screen of people scurrying through the streets of a city. There was a faint thumping, but she disregarded it as a part of the illusion. The thumping appeared to be moving closer. The figures of the heat were unaffected by the noise. An object drifted down from the sky, and the thumping was coming from it. There was a rhythmic vibration. The thumping was accompanied by a chop-chop. It settled to the ground, and a figure emerged. It was human, not associated with the dancing figures in the heat waves. Her heart was racing. The figure was moving towards her. She sat up, squinted her eyes, and focused on the female figure. She bolted upright. Mom! Okay, that's all for today. Hopefully I'll be better prepared tomorrow or whenever I do another one of these. I have a friend that I'm speaking to that will help me with this, so we can talk back and forth and explain things and making it a bit more interesting. But anyway, have a good day. Thank you for listening.